Welcome to the New York Outlook for Wednesday, 22 November 2023. Referring to news quickly, as you can see, USD news just came out a couple of minutes ago. Medium impact news is less important than red folder news. As you can see, unemployment claims for the USD was better than expected, i.e. there were less unemployment claims than expected, which means the USD is expected to go up. Touching on what happened during the London session, as you can see for AUD USD, at the time of the London Outlook we were somewhere around here, looking to see if this pullback phase will be validated. However, it wasn't validated and we simply just wicked this level. However, that prompted us to consider essentially where the buy to sell wicks were. There was still about 3 to 4, just over 3 hours to go before this candle closed. At the time I was considering this to be the buy to sell wicks. However, subsequently we can consider this to be the 4H buy to sell wicks. We can see that was essentially broken and there is no longer a barrier to consider when trading longs. The idea was always to consider trading longs. We did have demand take control at this stage. As you can see, you have your change of character, demand taking control. However, if we consider what's going on here, you can see there's a break of structure right there, and potentially right here as well. I just want to mark this up so you can see what I'm talking about, but essentially there was that and then that. You can see there's some body breaks here, which then gives us this change of character to consider, and then we've got some supply taking control over here. So supply is currently in control, which would then invalidate trading any longs from this right here. If we look at the 15-minute, what you can see is the change of character for the 15-minute would have been around here. Right, so we haven't yet seen demand hold for the 15-minute. Therefore, at present, it would appear that supply is in control, thus invalidating any longs. We do have this primary leg to consider, from which we can base future longs from. However, we do need full order flow control in order to do so. So I'll just quickly mark up these primary legs right here and right here. The other pair I was monitoring but wasn't too keen about was USDCAD. However, this appears to be playing out rather nicely. Just to recap the 4 hour, so the 4 hour recently changed character in terms of its structure, thus giving us both two pro trend levels to consider. The previously confirmed pro trend OB, which then had a chock and created this primary leg, from which we had another chock and created secondary leg OBs. From the pro trend unconfirmed extreme, we had a chock validating the primary leg, and what we can see is this this reaction from here didn't actually tap any ranges, and thus I wasn't happy to consider that we're reacting from a pro trend leg to consider shorts. For that reason, I've been quite biased on the long side. However, I did take a loss a day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, probably Monday. Yeah, most likely on Monday. I got into a long continuation which didn't follow through. However, today, this morning, essentially we identified this primary leg forming on the 15-minute after taking out this after wicking the secondary OB. We identified the 4H buy to sell wicks, which was subsequently taken out, and then from that point onwards what we could see is that demand was in control on the 5-minute, including right here. And essentially what had happened is we needed to consider our session liquidities. Asia liquidity was taken out by London, and then we had Frankfurt liquidity, which was also taken out by London, and we were essentially free to trade. I then considered where would be a good place to enter, and given that demand is so much in control, there was a shock that happened here, but at no point was supply able to take control from us. So I decided to enter here because essentially we had some London liquidity. We had the nice chain here. We could use this as liquidity in the leg. Given how big this was, I then considered using the fib, and this is the 38.2 level, and this would be the 23.6, and this is just a 10%, which, to be honest with you, I don't expect price to come all the way down here. If it's going to come down here, it's probably going to take out the low of the day. And I took an entry. Well, I placed the entry which got tagged just before the lull. This entry would have been valid either way because supply hadn't taken control prior, and we've got demand established, which fully fits the extreme based approach. I am considering moving away from extreme based entries and the requirement for covering the low of the day Asia, but that's still under works. But essentially I took this entry which played out quite nicely. It didn't quite reach my PE point prior to New York Open, so I had to leave the trade open during news, but because it's unemployment claims and durable goods, I was happy to keep the trade open and monitor what the news results was. Because unemployment claims was positive news, expecting the USD to continue pushing up, I'm happy to hold this trade until the ADR or in and around that area. What you can also see is there's quite a bit of IRL, and this is essentially the ultimate target right here, with the idea to reach this range or the refined 4H OB to then consider shorts going forward. But for now I'm quite happy with this entry, and I'll let it play out. There's no real reason to take any partials until maybe here, and then let the target be reached, but for now I'm quite happy with the way it's played out. The other thing we can consider is potentially some continuations, given that demand is in fact in control. However, price would need to come here, which is fine, but I'd much rather just see it play out as per the intended narrative, so we can somewhat continue to build a chain from here, because we've got the break of structure right there. We've got this chain which doesn't quite tap right here. But perhaps it does on the 15 minute. So on the 15 minute you can see we came down into here, we broke. The 15 minute we've got that and this. So essentially we can consider an entry right here, but yeah, I'd rather just have an alert here to say consider second entry, consider with so my entry would be right here, and my stop loss would probably be right here at around 14 pips, with a target of 1 to 3, and I'd let this one run because it's quite well positioned. But let's see how things play out, because this fib level and this POI are quite important So let's see how that works out. But for now, I'm in the trade and I'm happy to leave it running. That brings me to the end of the New York outlook, and we'll chat again at the end of day review. Let's see how this plays out.